you can write forever, you can write, I can be.
Bobbie Lee Gentry, a retired American singer-songwriter, made history as one of the first women in the country to write and produce her own music, an extraordinary feat for her time. In 1967, Gentry captivated the world with her haunting Southern Gothic hit, Ode to Billie Joe. The song dominated the Billboard Hot 100, holding the #1 spot for 4 consecutive weeks and landing 3rd on the Billboard Year-End chart that year. Her success earned her multiple Grammy Awards, including Best New Artist and Best Female Pop Vocal Performance. Throughout her career, Gentry scored 11 hits on the Billboard Hot 104 on the UK Top 40. Her album Fancy even snagged a Grammy nomination for Best Female Pop Vocal Performance. After her initial success, she became a fixture on the Las Vegas Strip, headlining popular variety shows. But then, she vanished. What happened to Bobbie Gentry? Stick with us as we uncover the mystery behind her sudden disappearance and what she's been up to since. Roberta Lee Streeter, better known as Bobbie Gentry, was born on July 27, 1942, near Woodland in Chickasaw County, Mississippi. Her parents, Ruby Lee, née Shipman, and Robert Harrison Streeter, divorced shortly after her birth. Following the split, her mother relocated to California, leaving Gentry to be raised by her paternal grandparents on a small Mississippi farm. Life on the farm was anything but easy. Gentry grew up without electricity or indoor plumbing, facing the harsh realities of rural life. In a remarkable gesture, her grandmother once traded a milk cow for a neighbor's old piano. And it didn't take long for Gentry's musical talent to shine. At just 7 years old, she composed her first song, My Dog Sergeant is a Good Dog. Gentry later spent a few years in Greenwood, Mississippi, living with her father, where she picked up the guitar and banjo. At 13, she moved to Palm Springs, California, to live with her newly married mother. The duo briefly performed together under the name Ruby and Bobbie Myers. Her stage name, Bobbie Gentry, was inspired by the 1952 film Ruby Gentry. The movie told the story of Ruby, a beautiful backwoods girl who marries a wealthy tycoon, a character Gentry reportedly related to given her own humble beginnings. After graduating high school, Bobbie Gentry packed her bags and headed to Los Angeles, where she enrolled at UCLA as a philosophy major. To make ends meet, she worked various clerical jobs during the day while performing in nightclubs and country clubs at night. It was during one of these performances, at Les Foley's Burgers nightclub in Las Vegas, that she caught the attention of none other than Bob Hope. He encouraged her to keep pursuing her passion for music, and she did. Gentry even dabbled in modeling. On June 29, 1962, United Press International published a wire photo of her alongside Cheryl Crane, the daughter of Hollywood star Lana Turner. But music remained her true calling. She later transferred to the Los Angeles Conservatory of Music, immersing herself in courses on composition, music theory, and arranging. In 1966, Gentry attended a Jody Reynolds concert in Palm Springs and boldly asked to sit in on one of his recording sessions. Reynolds agreed, leading to her singing 2 duet tracks with him, Stranger in the Mirror and Requiem for Love. Although both songs were released by Titan Records in September 1966, they failed to gain traction. Undeterred, Gentry booked time at Whitney Recording Studio in Glendale, California, to record a demo in early 1967. Her goal wasn't to become a star. She simply wanted to write songs for other artists. As she later told The Washington Post, she only sang on the demo of Ode to Billie Joe because it was cheaper than hiring someone else to do it. Little did she know, that decision would change everything. On June 23, 1967, Bobbie Gentry signed a deal with Capitol Records, where producer Kelly Gordon took on the task of crafting Ode to Billie Joe, his very first full-length album for the label. Interestingly, it wasn't Ode to Billie Joe that initially caught Capitol's attention. It was Gentry's gritty, soulful demo of Mississippi Delta. In fact, that same raw demo was ultimately released as the official track. But then came a twist. Capitol brought in arranger Jimmy Haskell to add a haunting string section to Ode to Billie Joe, giving the song an entirely new emotional depth. The very next day, Capitol's A&R team made a bold decision. Ode to Billie Joe would be the A-side single instead of Mississippi Delta. The single dropped on July 10, 1967, and it exploded. It dominated the Billboard Hot 100 for 4 consecutive weeks, landed at number 3 on the year-end chart, and even climbed to number 8 on the Billboard Black Singles chart. Across the Atlantic, it peaked at number 13 on the UK Top 40. With more than 3 million copies sold worldwide, the song became a cultural phenomenon. In 2001, Rolling Stone included it in their list of the 500 greatest songs of all time. Riding the wave of the single's meteoric success, Capitol scrambled to finish the rest of the album. Using the 12 demos Gentry had recorded earlier, producers completed the overdubs in just a matter of days, and the legend of Bobbie Gentry was officially born. The result of Gentry's debut album was nothing short of remarkable, a rich blend of blues, folk, and jazz that painted vivid memories of her Mississippi roots. It felt more like a cohesive concept album than a rushed collection of songs. Capitol Records had so much faith in the project that they pre-ordered a staggering 500,000 copies, the largest initial pressing for a debut album in the label's history. The album hit store shelves on August 21, 1967, just a month after its completion, and it didn't just make waves, it made history. Ode to Billie Joe knocked Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band by the Beatles off the top of the Billboard 200, a feat few artists could dream of achieving. It also climbed to number 5 on the Billboard Black Albums chart, further cementing Gentry's crossover appeal. Her success was quickly recognized. In 1967, she took home 3 Grammy Awards, including Best New Artist and Best Female Pop Vocal Performance. The accolades kept coming. By February 1968, the Academy of Country Music named her Most Promising Female Vocalist. Gentry's growing international fame led her to the prestigious Sanremo Music Festival in Italy, where she performed La Siepe, a song by Vito Pallavicini and Massara. Capitol released the track as a single, along with another Italian recording, La Siepe Grande by Pallavicini and De Ponte. The world was quickly learning. Bobbie Gentry was more than a one-hit wonder. She was a musical force to be reckoned with. Bobbie Gentry's second album, The Delta Suite, hit shelves in February 1968, marking a bold leap forward in her artistic journey. This concept album was deeply rooted in her Mississippi Delta upbringing, weaving together soulful narratives with an ambitious, genre-blending sound. Gentry herself was the driving force behind much of the album's instrumentation. She played piano, guitar, banjo, bass, and even vibes, showcasing her remarkable musical versatility. Despite Gentry's significant creative input, Capitol's Kelly Gordon, who had produced her debut album, received sole credit as producer. Still, the Delta Suite left its mark on the charts. The single Okolona River Bottom Band peaked at number 54 on the Billboard Hot 100, while her rendition of Louisiana Man squeaked in at number 100. Although the album didn't replicate the blockbuster success of its predecessor, it only reached number 132 on the Billboard 200. It later gained recognition as one of the overlooked masterpieces of the 1960s. Music critics praised its rich storytelling and innovative sound, even if mainstream audiences didn't catch on at the time. Gentry's rising international profile, however, didn't go unnoticed. In 1968, she was invited by BBC Two to host her own variety show, becoming the network's first female songwriter to lead a television series. Her magnetic stage presence, combined with her authentic Southern charm, made her a hit with British audiences. With the help of producer Stanley Dorfman, Bobbie Gentry filmed 6 half-hour episodes for her BBC variety show, which aired weekly from July 13th to August 17th, 1968. Her creative flair on screen was undeniable, but her music career continued full speed ahead. In August 1968, Capitol released her third album, Lee Gentry. The album didn't make it onto any of Billboard's album charts, but it did reach number 83 on the Cashbox Top 100 Albums chart. Surprisingly, just 1 month later, Gentry's third album of that same year hit stores, Bobbie Gentry and Glen Campbell, a collaborative effort with fellow Capitol artist Glen Campbell. The duo's natural chemistry was undeniable, captivating listeners with their effortless harmonies. The album climbed to number 11 on the Billboard Top LPs chart and soared to number 1 on the Top Country LPs chart. Gentry had proven once again that her talents extended far beyond a single hit song. She was a dynamic force, both in the studio and on screen. The success of Bobbie Gentry and Glen Campbell didn't just resonate with fans, it also brought industry recognition. The album was certified gold by the RIAA and earned Gentry and Campbell the Academy of Country Music Award for Album of the Year. Gentry herself was nominated for Top Female Vocalist, further solidifying her status as a standout talent in the industry. Gentry's growing influence extended beyond the US and UK. In 1969, she recorded 4 television specials for CFTO-TV in Toronto, Canada, with plans for North American syndication. Her star power was spreading across continents, but back home, her musical identity was beginning to shift. In April 1970, Bobbie Gentry released Fancy, her 6th album in just 3 years. Like 1969's Touch 'Em With Love, the album featured mostly cover songs with the exception of the bold, self-penned title track. Much of the album was recorded at the iconic FAME recording studios in Muscle Shoals, Alabama, with renowned producer Rick Hall at the helm. The single Fancy quickly became Gentry's biggest hit since Ode to Billie Joe, landing within the top 40 across the United States, Canada, and Australia. But the song was more than just a commercial success. In early 1971, Bobbie Gentry returned to British television with a third and final season of her BBC Two variety show. The 6 weekly episodes aired from February 1st to March 15th, marking the end of her successful run on UK television. That same year, in April, Gentry released Patchwork, an album that many critics have since described as a collection of musical short stories. The tracks spanned genres from country and pop to blues, all stitched together with cinematic interludes to create a seamless, narrative-driven experience. But what truly set Patchwork apart was that it was Gentry's first and only album written and produced entirely by herself. But behind the scenes, Capitol was in turmoil. Around the time Patchwork debuted, the company underwent a massive shakeup. The entire executive board that had supported Gentry's career was dismissed as parent company EMI tried to regain control and boost dwindling profits. This corporate overhaul slashed the artist roster from 247 to just 81, alongside deep cuts to production and marketing budgets. The breakdown in contract negotiations with Capitol Records left Bobbie Gentry stuck in a frustrating stalemate. She refused to release new material under the restrictive terms the label proposed, yet she was contractually barred from recording with any other company. With no way to move forward, she was forced to wait out the remaining option period of her contract, a period of creative limbo that put her music career on an indefinite pause. Despite the recording standstill, Gentry didn't disappear from public view. In 1974, she hosted a summer variety show on CBS called The Bobbie Gentry Happiness Hour. The show was intended as a female-led counterpart to the Glen Campbell Good Time Hour, but it failed to secure a full-season renewal. Her creative talents, however, found a new outlet in film. In 1975, Gentry wrote and performed Another Place, Another Time for Max Baer Jr.'s movie Macon County Line. The film became a surprise hit, prompting the release of the song as a promotional 7-inch single. The following year, Baer directed the 1976 movie Ode to Billie Joe, inspired by Gentry's iconic hit. The film starred Robbie Benson and Glynis O'Connor, and finally answered the haunting question behind the song's mystery, the suicide of Billie Joe. The film was a box office success, bringing Gentry's music back into the spotlight. But the woman herself was already beginning to slip away from it. In 1977, Gentry returned to Muscle Shoals to work with producer Rick Hall once again. This time she recorded for Curb Records, a division of Warner Brothers. However, unlike the fancy sessions in 1969, these new recordings didn't take place at Hall's iconic FAME studios. Instead, the pair worked out of the nearby Music Mill studio. The sessions were a quiet return to her Southern roots, but the world was already beginning to notice Gentry's increasing withdrawal from the spotlight. Between 1978 and 1982, Gentry made only a handful of public appearances. On Christmas Day, 1978, she appeared as a guest on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson, delivering her trademark Southern charm. In March 1980, she was spotted attending the Best of Vegas Awards. But it was on May 10, 1981, that Gentry made her final public appearance. She participated in an all-star salute to Mother's Day television special, where she performed Mama, a rainbow from the musical Minnie's Boys. The emotional tribute was dedicated to her mother, who sat proudly in the audience. After that heartfelt performance, Gentry quietly vanished from the spotlight, leaving fans wondering what had become of the enigmatic artist who once ruled the charts with Ode to Billy Joe. The last confirmed public sighting of Bobbie Gentry was on April 30, 1982, when she attended the Academy of Country Music Awards. She was just 39 years old at the time. Since that night, Gentry has never again recorded, performed, or granted an interview, vanishing from the spotlight as abruptly as she had entered it. Her whereabouts have remained a mystery ever since. A 2016 news report claimed that Gentry resides in a gated community near Memphis, Tennessee. Another source, however, suggested she lives in a secluded neighborhood in Los Angeles. The conflicting reports only added to the intrigue surrounding her disappearance. Following her retreat from fame, Gentry maintained a ghost-like presence in the world of entertainment. Her last known performance was during the 1981 All-Star Salute to Mother's Day special, where she delivered a heartfelt rendition of Mama, a Rainbow for her mother. After that touching moment, she quietly stepped away from public life. Her sudden and complete withdrawal sparked endless speculation. Some believed she had grown disillusioned with the music industry's cutthroat nature. Others suggested she simply craved a quieter, more private life, one free from the relentless pressures that come with celebrity. Whatever the reason, Bobbie Gentry remains one of music's most enduring mysteries, a woman who achieved extraordinary success and then chose to walk away, leaving behind only her timeless songs and an unsolved puzzle. By the mid-2000s, reports surfaced claiming that Bobbie Gentry was living in a gated community near Memphis, Tennessee. Later accounts contradicted this, suggesting she had settled in Los Angeles. The conflicting stories only deepened the mystery surrounding her life. One thing, however, was certain. Gentry had chosen a life of seclusion, a sharp contrast to her years as a celebrated music icon. Her enigmatic disappearance only fueled her legend. Fans, journalists, and music historians alike have spent years speculating about her life beyond the stage. The curiosity surrounding her retreat has never fully faded, with many longing for even a glimpse into her post-retirement world. Yet despite her absence, Gentry's impact on the music industry remained undeniable. Her bold, innovative approach to songwriting and production opened doors for future generations of female artists, empowering them to take creative control over their work. Bobbie Gentry may have left the spotlight, but her influence continues to echo through the industry to this day. Even after Bobbie Gentry disappeared from the public eye, her music never truly left the spotlight. Bobbie Gentry's decision to walk away from fame was driven by a desire for something more fulfilling than what the music industry could offer. Yet her influence on music and culture remains undeniable. As a woman who broke through in a male-dominated industry, she shattered barriers with her genre-blending sound and captivating storytelling. Even in her absence, her music continues to resonate, impacting and inspiring artists across generations and genres alike. In the end, Bobbie Gentry's story is one of extraordinary talent, groundbreaking achievements, and an unshakable desire for a life beyond the spotlight. Her decision to retire at the height of her success stands as a powerful testament to her individuality and strength. While fans and historians may never fully grasp the exact reasons behind her sudden departure, her legacy speaks louder than any explanation ever could. Their joint tours were a resounding success. The dynamic energy they shared was infectious, as was the genuine sense of fun and camaraderie they exuded on stage. Fans were drawn not only to the music, but also to the warmth and playfulness that defined their performances. Together, they created an atmosphere that made each concert feel like an intimate, lively gathering. The pair's collaborative success extended to television as well. Gentry was a frequent guest on the Glen Campbell Good Time Hour, Campbell's hit variety show that ran from 1969 to 1972. Her appearances consistently attracted high ratings, with audiences tuning in to watch the pair's effortless banter and captivating performances. Their duets often included songs from their album, alongside solo numbers that showcased their individual talents. The success of Bobbie Gentry and Glen Campbell and their ongoing collaborations underscored the remarkable rapport the two artists shared. Their partnership became one of the most celebrated in country music history, proof that when two distinctive voices find perfect harmony, the result can be nothing short of magical. Bobbie Gentry and Glen Campbell's professional relationship was built on a foundation of genuine respect and mutual admiration. In interviews, both artists consistently praised each other's talents. Gentry admired Campbell's exceptional musicianship and the effortless charm he brought to their duets. Campbell, in turn, was captivated by Gentry's songwriting brilliance and her ability to craft vivid, emotionally charged stories through her lyrics. Despite their undeniable chemistry, their collaboration was surprisingly short-lived. Both artists were navigating demanding solo careers, and as their individual paths grew more complex, their professional partnership naturally faded. However, the music they created together left a lasting mark. Their album, Bobbie Gentry and Glen Campbell, remained a fan favorite long after its release, with their duets becoming timeless staples in country music. The enduring legacy of their collaboration is evident in how often their work is revisited and celebrated. The seamless way their voices intertwined, combined with the raw emotional depth they brought to each track, set a new standard for duet albums. Their partnership proved that musical chemistry, when authentic, transcends time. Today, their collaborative work continues to influence and inspire artists, standing as a benchmark for what true musical synergy sounds like. Together, they crafted a body of work celebrated for its warmth, authenticity, and timeless appeal. Their shared passion for storytelling and their contrasting yet complementary vocal styles resulted in a duet album that continues to be cherished decades later. In the end, Bobbie Gentry and Glen Campbell remains a standout achievement in both of their careers. The album is more than just a collection of songs. It's a testament to their undeniable chemistry and musical synergy. Though their partnership was brief, its influence on country music has endured. Fans and musicians alike continue to celebrate their work, recognizing it as a shining example of how two distinct talents can come together to create something truly unforgettable. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and also click the next video shown on your screen.